bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches right.
I'm really confused on what your stance are here.
No,
So
so
you are pro purity culture.
I don't see what it like. What's the downside to it?
Of purity culture?
Yeah, like
So
what's
essentially, with purity culture, you are equivocating your pureness to your sexual history. And I think that assigning any kind of value to who you are as a person based on your sexual prowess is very damaging.
would so
Because
like
when you engage in sex with people, it doesn't take anything away from you.
right? So are you talking about like slut shaming? Is that
Yeah, slut shaming, your body count, that if you don't, that sex is evil before marriage, that you shouldn't think impure thoughts.
so? So I think like there is a double standard there, but um, like I don't see why having sex with less people is necessarily bad.
I'm not saying it is. If someone wants to be abstinent, I don't have a problem with that. I'm abstinent right now. It's when it is perpetuated as being what is good.
So I think like a lot of people think like they equate sex before marriage with being bad, and that could probably be like because of the time like how they were raised or their morality, and um, so that's where I think that comes from. As like people who have sex before marriage, like used to be like, for example, like people who like had sex before marriage and everybody knew it, and then they wear like a white dress to their wedding. So it was kind of like a giggle giggle, thing like that.
I mean,
So
I would agree. It's definitely a patriarchal form to subjugate and oppress women.
so I think that's, but I don't feel like not engaging in potentially dangerous activity is bad.
I'm not saying it is.
But that's what anti-purity culture is, though. Like I
No,
feel like
it's not. Anti-purity culture rejects the notion that you are either pure or impure based on your sexual prowessness.
but you said that it's bad to be
I
so.
didn't. I didn't say it was bad to be abstinent. I even said I myself am abstinent right now. There's nothing wrong with abstinence. It's when it's forced as a moral goodness and that you are better or you are a good person simply by just not having sex.
So do you think there's some aspect of like focusing on yourself and waiting for the right person and all that? Do you think there's something inherently good about that?
No, I think it's neutral. I think everyone's sexual identity is individualistic.
Okay, I would. Okay, so that's I guess where we would disagree because I would feel like if like trying to better myself and improve my situation, I think that would be a good thing. And
What do you
if
mean by improve your situation?
like improve your mental health, your physical health, like if I think that would be like a good thing. It's like work on yourself. Like people like that's a cliche, but like you work on yourself. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And like
I'm
focusing on
not saying
yourself,
it is, but
like
you
loving,
don't have to
like
be abstinent
taking.
to improve on yourself or to make yourself a better person.
No, but I think putting yourself in potentially bad situations doesn't help your situation. Like if you're having unprotected sex and like dating a whole bunch of people, I don't think that
Why did you have
necessarily
to add the unprotected
improves.
element?
What do you mean?
What if a person is just
Why would
dating a lot of people and they're having protected sex? Is that okay?
um like well I meant like unnecessary taking unnecessary risks when I said unprotected.
Right, but why are
Because
you
like a lot of
equivocating having multiple partners as an unnecessary risk?
because there's always a chance that you can get pregnant or get an STD even if you are using protection.
Okay. And a
So
lot
I
of
would say that
STDs can be
reducing
cured. Like, are you saying people who get STDs are dirty?
no, I no. I just don't think if you're trying to like to better yourself, I don't think that that helps because there are a lot of stereotypes that people put on people with STDs, even
Like
if
what?
they are treatable, like they're like that like they're like they're easy or they're like you said like dirty,
Well,
but
see, so you're upholding that stereotype, like, oh, you shouldn't engage in this because society will think that you're dirty. And that's the problem that I have with this type of culture, because you're not. I mean, would you say that I was dirty if I went to the store and someone gave me the flu?
mm, no, but I wouldn't. But that's not like an actual choice you can take though.
You think people choose to
Like
get
you,
STDs?
like you. So are we talking like? But if you have like unprotected sex, there's a very good chance that you
Why do
could
you keep adding that
get
element?
what element? The unprotected.
Yeah. Why do you
Even if you
associate
have a
people who would be maybe quote unquote promiscuous that they're having unprotected sex?
because or even like I said, even protected sex, there's still like condoms are not 100% effective for
So,
protecting.
what is your point that because there is a risk to where you could get an infection, you're not bettering your own life? I mean, there's risk to getting infection when going to the store. Like,
But that's different. That's a different kind of infection
why
though,
is it different?
because that's like saying sleeping around is like the same as getting cancer. I mean, they're both diseases, but
Cancer
like
is not
they're
a
two
disease.
different. They're, it's not.
No,
Why is it not a disease?
because a disease is typically transmittable, where a cancer forms on its own.
Okay, so or an illness, we could say, or an infection.
Right. I just think your own implicit biases is coming out here. That you essentially equivocate people who get STDs to be dirty or easier promiscuous. So you're really upholding all the stereotypes and the social constructs that I'm against. And if we look at purity culture, it has a lot of similarities to our word culture. And that's a huge problem that I have as well.
So you're saying people who are like so what are you saying? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
People who have the ideology that essentially purity culture and rape culture are one and the same.
So you're saying that people who don't want people dressing with their tits hanging out think that it's okay to R word people.
Yeah, they're essentially normalizing victimization.
That's a that's like a big stretch, I think.
It's not. I've done my research on this. Like, this is not my own formed opinion. This is an educated topic.
Okay.
I mean, essentially,
Well,
what you're saying is that if women
was
don't
that
dress modestly, then they're perceived as a certain way, which means that men, essentially, how a woman presents herself is is what the root cause of how a man acts or treats her.
no? I don't think that's this.
Absolutely, because essentially you're saying if she dresses like this, she doesn't respect herself. I don't care if there were a naked man walking down the sidewalk, it doesn't do anything for me.
Well, that's the difference between men and women, though. If you put like naked man
It's
and naked
not.
woman,
And that right
they're
there,
going to.
that's your big red flag. That's the difference between men and women. It's not.
Well, that's biology.
That's the difference between violent behavior and non-violent behavior.
What do you What do you mean?
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.